easy go.
Hey guys, what's going on? DFS Warstrike here. I just wanted to kind of review over the 2-game slate that we did. I think a lot of this is a lot of learning and going through for a lot of people. I think I found a lot of success in the way that I build my lines. I fell a couple points shy of the takedown, but I'm not going to complain of getting a third place. I kind of wanted to show you how I do my 3-2-1 majority of the time. For instance, this was put in the $250 crossfire. I think that was like the $3 entry. So the way I establish this is typically my 3-stack. I don't typically captain. Not saying that that's not what the takedown line is going to be. A lot of times, just your 3-stack is you just choose the 3 that you think has the best chance of winning. To me, usually that's the most chalky, so I don't usually go with that. I typically either captain somebody from my 2-stack more than likely, or somebody from my 1. Krem's kind of, he didn't do bad, but he didn't do great today. Brawlin was exceptional. In my core that I passed out in my Discord, I gave Jamie, Krims, and Frozen, which weren't bad plays at all. I'm really happy with where I placed in this. I think it was really good success. But yeah, if you guys ever win anything, I want to do stuff at the beginning of the show where I start to give out, little shout outs of winnings and show people our winnings just to show the success of what we're doing here. The whole goal of this is for all of us to earn money together. I'm just giving you my best input. So with that being said, guys, we're going to get underway and start cracking down on the next slate. All right, so let's get to it. The first matchup here, we have Extremum versus Honorous. I'll click over here on the Extremum side. This is going to be the side you're going to want to focus on. They should be really heavy favorites going into this matchup. This will be their first match together. If I had to choose, Jacob would be the top for me at 10K. Yes, it is high expensive, but remember you want to choose a 3-stack if you're going to do a 3-stack for a team that you know is going to clean sweep. And I think this is probably the best option of the 4 games to do it. Extremum here, Jacob would be top, Bennett would be second to me. If you're going to go towards a 2-stack, those would be my 2 guys. And then my third option would be Gratisfaction, as I think Gratisfaction here is a great option if you were to do a 3-stack. Going over to Honor's side, I don't really see much value here. If you're going to do a one-off, you can. That's extremely risky, extremely up to you. If you want to do that, you can. I would have to say that Rico would probably be my top option here. For a one-off, I won't do more than that. I wouldn't have more. I don't really see much value coming from this. Should be super low owned if you do want to take advantage of that, but I'm gonna probably stay away from it personally. So that would be the end of the first game for me. Then going over to Gamer Legion versus Dignitas. Looking down at Dignitas, they're hard to figure out. You don't really know how they're going to perform until they start performing. I think they played pretty well in the summit. They were competitive. They just weren't winning, but they were also playing top tier teams. Gamer Legion, they majority of the time stay towards the lower tier. So I would say that Dignitas here should be in favor considering the recent play in 2021. Starting here at the top, my favorite play is Heap. I think Heap at 8,200 would be best if you were going to start a 3-stack, 2-stack, one-off, whatever. I think he would be the best option for you there. Second would be Halzerk. Halzerk is the leader of this team. Heap is just playing better right now. So I do like those two. And then if I had to do my third option, it would be Harry down towards the bottom at 6,800. You could go with Forrest. I think Harry and Forrest are kind of similar, but so if it's $800 cheaper, I'm probably going to roll Harry so I can use that money elsewhere. Especially if you're doing a 3-stack, you're expecting a sweep. So really the only thing you're focusing on is the bonus points and the match sweep bonus. So that's really it for Dignitas. Those would be my 3. Forrest, Freiburg, I probably won't have any exposure to, or at least not that much. Then going over to Gamer Legion. If Dignitas were to fall, if you are bailing on that and expecting that or hoping that that happens, you can take a risk here. A 2-stack here would probably be as far as I go if you are banking on Dignitas falling down. My top play here would be Rusty. I think Rusty has been like the last couple matches have been the top fragger of their matches. and then Era has the most kills in the 2021 season. So those would be my two guys I would roll with. I'm not saying I'm going to two stack them or have them, but if you were going to, I'm just giving you a viable option that those two would probably be the best two fits. Or if you're just going to do a one off, I would do Rusty. So for that game, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. And then we'll go over to Sprout as well. And then let's go. So now we have Sprout versus EC5. Sprout should come up on top on this matchup. I will have a three stack here. I think it's kind of expensive. I mean, if you compare the pricing from them to that, I think that this is probably better for you. Sprout just seems like they're very high priced in the matchup where they may have to go three maps. It's not guaranteed sweep for any of these slates. I think the most favorable one is the first one, and then the second one is probably Dignitas to me. But this one could easily be a three map series. I don't see it going that way, but I'm just talking off the top of my dome saying that I think I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But going with my favorite plays here, Faven would be my top guy, Slacks would be second, and then I would probably fade Cressy out of all the rest of them. Spidey and Dennis would be in play for me. I kind of think it's a flip flop between Spidey and Dennis. So if you have, $1,200 cheaper, you may just want to go down to Dennis instead of Spidey. But I do think Spidey is probably the better option there. But if you can save the money and you find better players elsewhere, you might as well go for it. So that's really what I'm gonna do with Sprout there. I'll have exposure really all over for them, but I mean I wouldn't be surprised if this goes three maps, but I'm not expecting it to. Then jumping down here to ECK, if you are banking on this going three maps, then the best player to go here would be Buyer 9. I think he is probably your best option at 6,400 as well. I think really his stats show they're false. Like they're creating an illusion that's not really who he is. He is putting up good stats, but really all of his bad stats really came in his first game of 2021. After that, he's been absolutely killing it for me from what I've seen. So I would really like to go with him. Now my second play would be S4. S4 is good. S4 is up there in kills, and he has been one of their top players. So if you are hoping that Sprout chokes and falls down and takes this to three maps, then I would go S4 and Buyer 9. So those would be my top two there. In order, Buyer 9, S4 if you were to do a one-off, and then going over to the last game. So we have NC here, which it's NC had a rough go to the end of the year as they lost like 10 straight to end 2020, and a lot of people here I guess forgot about Alou and how Alou is the top player on this team. He had a really actually decent 2020. I think he was just surrounded by people that weren't performing, so he was left in a lot of 1v3 or 4 or 5 situations where he just really stood no chance. And so Alou here to me would be the top play for NC if you're going to do that. I think Alou would be great. Snappy and Dodo, I probably won't have any exposure to. They didn't really perform that well in 2020. Um, Daika would be my second option if you were going to do a two stack. If you're going to do a three stack, you could go with Spinks, but I'm holding off on Spinks personally because I just want to see how he performs before I have too much exposure to him. Because at 9,800, that's throwing a lot of money at someone when you don't know how they're going to perform at this type of stage. So Alou and Daika would be my two to go with, and then going over to IB here. The Bears, they're very cheap. Like they're super cheap, and it's very intriguing. But I just don't know how NC is going to be tomorrow. So if NC comes out either really strong or really weak, it's going to be one or the other there. So I really don't know how this is going to perform. Um, if I had to do a three stack, which I probably will on one of my lines, Sui would probably be at 5,600. He'd probably be my favorite play there. I think he performs really well. And then Jen and then Stomp would be my three. So that's super cheap. I mean, look, if you click on those three right there, I mean, you still have 32,600 available. it's really just it depends what NC's gonna look like when they come out. It's gonna be a good game. I think this is probably the only good game of the four that looks to me right now. But I would say that these are probably going to be those plays. I don't have a problem with Mono as well if you want to go with him. I don't think that's an issue. But other than that, guys, with that being said, I don't really have much to add to this. I do like 3-2-1s tomorrow. A lot of 3-3s, I think, as well because of I see sweeps happening in these matchups. So starts at 8:30. These are the last four games of the snow slate because I think we got a big tournament starting tomorrow. But so this would be it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. We'll get going more into this. We had a very successful day one. Hopefully, we can keep it going. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me on Twitter. I'll be there to answer your questions. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I'll add the link below and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, take care. Thank you.